Okay, we're going to be installing these angle stop valves for the water supplies. We have 3 here. We already did the toilet one, but this is a real common plumbing procedure, is installing these shut-off valves for water supplies. You need them for vanities, you need them for sinks, you need them for toilets, you need them for just about anything that has plumbing, a water supply in your house. You need these. We call them angle stops. The most common one is this one that I use from Home Depot. It's the number 28. It's easy to find, and that's if you have 1/2-inch copper stubbed out. This has 1/2-inch compression for copper on the supply end, and then it has 3/8 compression on the hose end. So that's the most common one. You can get quarter turn, which is just a quarter turn on off, or this is a multi-turn, which is more like a gate valve instead of a ball valve, but we use these a lot. So the first thing I do is get my measurement off of the finished surface, and you usually want between like 7/8 and 1 inch is about right. So I like to go about 1 inch because that allows me a little play. You definitely don't want to be too short on these guys. This is my favorite copper cutter. This is an auto cut. You can find this at Home Depot as well. And they have these in 1/2-inch and 3/4 sizes, and 1 inch. The 1/2-inch we use a lot. It's great. You can fit it into tight areas and it works really well. I'm going to go ahead and cut my pipe at 1 inch off the wall. So that's that. Next thing you do is put your escutcheon on there, which is important. Escutcheon has to go on before this. And if you're replacing these, definitely replace your escutcheons because they get beat up over time. So the valve comes like this, the shut-off valve comes like this. When you take the nut off, there's a ferrule that's included. This is a compression ferrule. It's usually brass. So you'll put your nut on the copper. Nut goes right on the copper. And here's a trick that a plumber taught me, was to use WD-40 on this compression, this ferrule. What that does is lubricates. As the compression nut tightens, it lubricates, and that way you don't have to crank them down as hard, because if you just do it, tight with your wrenches, they can leak. And if you go too hard, if you go way too tight, that compression ring will actually stretch out the pipe. It'll smash the pipe too much and deform it, and then it'll start leaking. So if you've done it and you find that you've tightened it too much and it's leaking, that's what's happened. So that WD-40 or any kind of oil or lubricant will work. So after that's on, then the shut-off valve goes on, and then you're going to need 2 wrenches for this also. So I got a crescent wrench and I got a pair of channel locks. So then you just start tightening the nut. So that's tight, and then I got it as tight as I can with my crescent. See how it's turning the whole thing? So now you need another wrench, and now I'm going to give it its finish tighten. And again, since I have that WD-40 on there, I'm giving it a good tightening, but that's all I'm going to need. So again, you can see if I cut that pipe at 1 inch, I have the nut compressed all the way against the escutcheon, so the escutcheon's in there nice and tight. And of course, before you turn your water on, make sure you close the valve. That's one of the things I've done. The water's off right now, obviously, because I'm cutting the pipe off. You go to turn the water back on, and you leave this valve open, and you hear psh, and your water go everywhere. So yeah, make sure these are all the way closed before you turn the water on. But yeah, that's the way you install one of these angle stop valves.